Hi, I'm Greg Dell, and today I'm here with Victor Penna. And Victor, you recently reviewed a case that came out, so let's talk about it and see what kind of information we can learn from it and share with some people who obviously have short and long-term disability claims.
Sure. Well, this case involves Prudential. It was a lawsuit that was filed at the federal district in Colorado. So it involved an employee. He received benefits from Prudential for actually almost 12 years, which is one of the things that makes this case pretty interesting. We see this a lot with Prudential. So this claimant, Mr. Paquin, he was on claim. He suffered encephalitis that he had contracted from a mosquito with the West Nile virus. So from the encephalitis, he suffered brain damage, obviously cognitive issues, and he was on claim. So they challenged his claim after about a year. He was able to successfully get it appealed, reinstated, and then they paid him for almost 12 years before coming after him again. So here they actually did a neuropsychological evaluation, which Prudential is notorious for doing. They set him up with a neuropsychological evaluation. That doctor had reported that maybe he was malingering, or his symptoms weren't as severe as he was making them out to be.
Just explain for a minute what a Neuro-Psych evaluation is, because a lot of people they're not familiar with what that is.
Sure, it's usually, and insurance companies love doing them. So it's a neuropsychologist usually performs this evaluation. It's over several hours. It basically consists of a questionnaire. So it's a lot of questions that they'll ask them, and it's intended to measure any cognitive limitations that the person doing the evaluation may be suffering from. So that's what this person's, Mr. Paquin's claim was based on, his cognitive limitations. So it would be reasonable, and in most cases the insurance company, they have the right to have a claimant evaluated by a physician of their choice as often as they deem reasonable. Here they went 12 years, almost 12 years, paying him benefits without ever requesting a neuropsychological evaluation. He had doctors who were obviously supportive, and then one day they requested this evaluation, and unsurprisingly it came back showing that he may be exaggerating or malingering. So they denied his claim based on this evaluation. He submitted 2 appeals. Prudential, they offer 1 required, 1 voluntary appeal usually. He went through both appeals, was unsuccessful, and then had to file this lawsuit. So the court sided with him. The court, they found it particularly interesting that they paid him for so long. Also, they thought the evaluation was kind of questionable. So apart from the fact that they paid him for so long for those benefits, he had a lot of support from his doctors. Three of his treating physicians actually responded. They provided a rebuttal to the neuropsychological evaluation, saying that it was questionable, that it was probably inaccurate. Prudential, I think, had also some doctors, but the court basically dismissed them. So it was in favorable jurisdiction, I guess you could say. They did apply deferential standard of review, meaning that they gave Prudential the benefit of the doubt, but they still sided with the claimant here. They overturned it, put him back on claim.
So it wasn't a remand where they said go back and reevaluate it. They actually put him back on claim.
Here it would have been a reinstatement, just given that how long they paid him and how the claim was denied.
Did they do anything else besides the neuropsychological exam?
No. So all they did was a neuropsychological evaluation. They based their entire decision on that, which is very common. We see a lot. Prudential loves doing them. We see a lot of cases with them where they've been paying claimants for years, and then all of a sudden one day they decide to do an IME, an independent medical evaluation, or a neuropsychological evaluation in this case, and then based on that, regardless of what happened years before, they completely dismissed that and then cut these cases off.
So I actually use neuropsychological evaluations quite frequently in a lot of my claims as well, and I find that they can be helpful. However, there could be some level of subjectivity in how the test results are interpreted. And so there's so many factors and they're complicated, and I think we've done videos in the past just talking about neuropsych testing, so I would encourage people to search for that on our website or YouTube channel to look at those. But the disability companies, they really don't care much about the cognitive impairments that can come from that test. They're looking more to see, like you said, the exaggerating or the malingering, which basically means they try to say, well, this test showed that you're faking what's going on with you. Mm-hmm. So Obviously, in this case, the judge was like, no, we're not buying that you did that test. It was unreasonable for you to just rely on those results alone, and they probably ignored what the 3 other doctors were saying, which is why the court felt like they abused their discretion as opposed to just being able to rely on that neuropsych exam.
Right.
So, these neuropsych exams are something that if you are being required to go to one, you should definitely be extremely cautious. There are steps you can take to try to protect yourself when going to those exams. For example, we often like to request that at least the interview portion is videotaped as an option. We like to make sure that there's going to be an opportunity to respond to that data. Also, we like to try to get our own neuropsych testing done before they do their testing so as to try to knock out their ability to use their own expert in their own testing. And this way, you as the claimant get the ability to have your testing done in what could probably be more of an unbiased environment so that they can't then go ahead. Supposedly if you've done the testing, you're not supposed to get it repeated more than maybe every 9 months to a year. So if you say you've done the testing, most respectable neuropsychologists, they won't do the test. They could try to argue, well, we'll give you different testing, but for the most part, a big chunk of the testing's been done and they can't do it, and then they're subject to just looking at the data, and then it's getting into a question of interpretation of the data. So that's a big thing, but this is a great thing. Not uncommon for Prudential to knock someone off after 12 years. Unfortunately, we see it a lot. That's why we always tell claimants, look, just getting approved doesn't mean you're going to stay on claim, that they will mess with you at any opportunity they have. And here, probably got a new claims handler on the claim, felt like they're going to be a hero and tried to cut them off. So that was the problem in this claim. I'm glad to see Prudential go down once again. We love taking them down on at least a weekly basis. If you have a claim with Prudential or any other disability insurance company, feel free to give us a call. We always offer a free consultation, and we'll let you know immediately whether or not we can help you.